Happy to have you with us for Big 12 college football on FS1, presented by Dave & Buster's. It is a beautiful day here in Lubbock. Homecoming weekend for the Red Raiders. They're back home after 2 straight on the road. Meanwhile, playing a very good Iowa State team off to one of their best starts in recent years. Their first road game since a fantastic win in Norman against number 3 Oklahoma. Aaron Goldsmith alongside Danny Cannell and A.J. Hawk. And A.J., Iowa State, the surprise team in the Big 12 this year, and they have maybe the best story in college football. Last year, Joel Lanning was a starting quarterback for the Cyclones. This year, he's one of the best middle linebackers in the conference.
Joel Lanning is the most versatile player in college football. 11 months ago, this guy ran for 5 touchdowns against this Texas Tech defense. Today, he will be starting at middle linebacker. Who knows how many snaps he gets at quarterback? We could see upwards 10, 15, 20. We don't know. So he is the guy to watch for. Number 7, Joel Lanning, will be all over the place.
Yeah, 5 touchdowns, over 170 yards last year in Ames against Texas Tech. The Red Raiders getting set, making the walk down the tunnel, getting ready to take the field here in Lubbock on homecoming weekend. A big game on both sides. Both teams, 4 wins, 2 losses. And a good chance whoever wins today, a ranked team going into next week. And here come the Red Raiders. Well, you know, Danny, every time we come here to Lubbock, the talk is always about the run and shoot offense, all the receivers, all the passing yards. But this year, for the first time, it might not be the headline, but it's the first time in a long time we're talking about this Red Raiders defense.
It should be the headline. That's a big reason why this team is sitting at 4-2. It's the defensive side of the football. And to put into perspective, last year they were 116th against the run. This year, all the way up to 32nd. So they're playing much more physical. But really, it's about turnovers. They're creating turnovers, and they're led by Dakota Allen, linebacker. Great story. Was expelled from the university, went to East Mississippi Community College. Was a star of Last Chance U, but really made the most of that opportunity coming back. He's a leader not only on the field, but off as well. A guy that they really look up to for enthusiasm from a leadership perspective. A big reason why this defense is having so much success this year.
68 degrees, a little windy, no doubt about that. Now the field is below ground level, so we'll see how the wind factors into things, but a gorgeous 11 a.m. kick local time as we take a look at Cliff Kingsbury in his 5th season, the former Red Raider quarterback under Mike Leach, 3-1 in his career against Iowa State. On the other side, Matt Campbell, his 2nd year, a trio of 9-win seasons at Toledo, now his 2nd season in Ames, and he has got these Cyclones off to one of their best starts in a long while. 4-2 entering today. Now Texas Tech winning the toss and deferring. Landon Akers back deep to return things for the Cyclones. Michael Barden will get set to kick things off for Texas Tech. Special teams have been a problem in recent weeks for the Red Raiders. That's something we'll be keeping an eye on today. Through the back of the end zone. And Iowa State will get things going. Kyle Kempf, the senior starter, the former walk-on. Now is only his 3rd career start.
Aaron, it's really a great story. He's been around the block, to say the least. Started his career at Oregon State, spent a couple years there, then went to junior college in Kansas, finally finds himself at Iowa State as a walk-on. What does he do in his first start? Only gets one of the biggest upsets in the history of Iowa State football. So really a great game from him. He's the definition of a game manager, but he's done the job exceptionally well, looking to carry up on some of the momentum they've had.
Yeah, worth noting, a walk-on here, but he was a scholarship player in Corvallis at Oregon State. Only 2 pass attempts in his entire college career until that start in Norman. As the Cyclones start on the ground of Montgomery. Montgomery not going far at all. You mentioned that rush defense early on already today for Texas Tech.
Keep your eye out for number 23, DeMarcus Fields, cornerback for Texas Tech. An absolutely emerging young star in the secondary. Will be manned up with some of these young, experienced, great receivers for Iowa State.
On play action to pass towards the sideline. And he finds Trevor Ryan. Ryan, one of the most versatile players in the conference. Justice Parker pushes him out.
Well, if their rush defense is better, the pass defense not so much for Texas Tech. 126 in the country, but that's to be expected in this league. It's about getting turnovers and red zone stops and getting off the field on 3rd down, which they're facing right here.
Brings up 3rd and 4. They put Ryan in motion. Alan Lazard, one of the most prolific receivers in school history, at the bottom of your screen. Kempf to pass. And a first down as he finds Hakeem Butler.
This is huge for the Iowa State offense and the confidence of Kempf here. Get your first down, get your feet under you, and keep it moving as they're going tempo.
And Marchie Murdoch on that catch. This time intercepted and going the other way. Justice Parker with a move. And the opening drive for Iowa State results in an interception, something that Kyle Kempf has not done yet in his young career.
Aaron, AJ, Iowa State was trying to go tempo. Texas Tech was struggling to line up. Watch all these defenders on this side of the field trying to get to their positions. They actually luck into this. I mean, they're trying to get out to their spots on the field and just step right in front of a pass that Kyle Kempf's trying to throw out to the flat. It was not very clean. Even as an offensive perspective, you know what routes you're supposed to be throwing, but you usually key it off of defensive looks, and Texas Tech just running out there across the field to spots, lucked into that, stepped right in front of it.
Sometimes when you confuse yourself, it confuses the offense in turn because they don't know where you are, what you're playing.
First and goal at the 7 for Texas Tech and Nick Shimonek. Desmond Nisby, the running back, only a couple of carries last week in Morgantown. Nisby right up the gut, not going very far. At about the 5.
Cliff Kingsbury, head coach of Texas Tech, was telling us they want to get Nisby going early and establish this ground game and try to open it up. This Iowa State defense wants to kind of play a bend but don't break, keep everybody in front of you, force the offense into making mistakes.
Cantrell, top of the screen, always a red zone threat for the Red Raiders. Instead to Nisby again. Runs into the wall, tries to spin forward inside the 5. Let's take a look at Nick Shimonek.
This offense is a quarterback's dream, and Nick Shimonek is really thriving in it. You want to be high completion guy, 70% he's at, and you have to make great decisions with the football because you're going to get guys open in this system, and Shimonek is really absolutely executing close to perfection, but needs to finish games. Last week struggled in the second half against West Virginia. Looking for him to put a complete game together this afternoon.
The pitch to Nisby, upfield and in for the touchdown. Nisby's 7th running score on the season.
Kingsbury said he wants to establish the ground game early. They start with 3 straight runs. The big boy Nisby on the edge here. Just not enough on this Iowa State defense to stop him. Tough start for the Cyclones.
Now the interception turns out to be a short field. One of the storylines, we mentioned special teams for Texas Tech. Different kicker this week, Michael Uten, the true freshman out of Allen, Texas. The kicking game has been such a problem for the Red Raiders. And no good on the point after try. Last 5 games now, that's the 2nd missed PAT combined by this kicking game as we take a look at the run once again from Desmond Nisby to put Tech on top. You know, guys, Iowa State this year has been so good at controlling the turnovers, one of the best margins in the conference, let alone in the country, and not a good start for Iowa State, to say the least.
I'll be interested to see how Kyle Kempf responds to that. Hasn't really been in a position to face a lot of adversity. Of course, the game against Oklahoma was back and forth. Hasn't thrown that tough interception yet in his career. Interested to see how he comes back from that.
Let's see what their tempo is like moving forward. That was the first time they tried to juice up the tempo, and disastrous results.
Martin boots it away. And again through the back of the end zone. Kempf to pass, looking left side. And complete right by the sticks. Gang tackled, first down. Looks like Murdoch marching forward, carrying some defenders with him.
Gotta love that. That enthuses the whole offense. When you see a wide receiver catch the ball and require 4 and 5 defenders to bring him down.
Murdoch good for a gain of 19. Quick hitter out. Deshaunte Jones, a fantastic freshman year last season, gets out to the 40. Second and 4 for the Cyclones. Kempf on play action again. Clean pocket. Now flush. Almost intercepted just in front of the 20. Looking for Akeem Butler. It was DeMarcus Fields on the come.
Kyle Kempf was trying to go to the left side of the field, and his receiver fell down. That was his primary guy. That's a scary place to be in when you're focused on him. Kempf wisely just got outside the pocket and really threw it away. But he's got to be careful. If you throw it away, make sure it gets out of bounds.
Watch number 8 here. Deshaunte Jones gets behind the defense, but the Tech defense puts enough pressure on Kempf that he cannot get to the receiver in the seam.
Jones in motion. Low snap handled by Kempf. Squares his shoulders to Jones for a first down.
Boy, really impressed with Kyle Kempf's accuracy. Giving these receivers balls they can catch and run with. This is just an under route on the outside. And then you're doing a lot of these shorter underneath passing concepts. You want to get in their hands with a ball they can catch and make a move, make a guy miss, get solid chunks of yardage. But sooner or later, you make a guy miss a couple times to get a big play.
Iowa State moving quickly, ball to 20 now. Looking back out to Eaton, long extension, able to corral it to make the catch.
Do you know how scary that pass is after you threw one pick already that got caught and going the other way? I mean, you got to have a lot of confidence. Kempf really impressed with this drive and stepping right back in there. Perfectly thrown ball, nice catch. That is a scary one. You don't want to get undercut twice.
Pickup of 6. Only one catch so far for Alan Lazard. You mentioned the size, 6'5". It seemed like this might be his territory. Montgomery met quickly. Gang tackle by the Red Raiders. First met by Willie Skies.
Well, we talked about Texas Tech being better on defense. You're going to give up a lot of yards in this conference, but where you need to buckle down is the red zone. You see here, big stop against the run, pressure up front. But this is where you need to get off the field and force a field goal.
No gain of the play. 3rd and 4.
Double stacks here again on the outside from Iowa State. Let's see if they try to run some pick routes.
It is Ryan and Lazard at the bottom of your screen. Kempf looking that way. To Lazard for the easy score. The most prolific receiver in school history torched Texas Tech a year ago, and he helps get the Cyclones on the board.
We talked about the jump ball. That wasn't even a jump ball. It was a little bit of a back shoulder fade, and that's as easy a touchdown pass as you'll get. You feel bad for a defensive back trying to guard Lazard, and he just gets kind of lost. The defensive back thought the ball was going to the back of the end zone, so he's racing there. Lazard just turned around, catches it on the spot.
Garrett Owens for the lead. Able to put it through. 7-6 Iowa State. So it's a good thing they went for it on 4th and short.
Yes, it is.
Texas Tech had the short field early after the interception of the Cyclones' first drive, but on the second drive for Iowa State, 14 plays, 75 yards, and is capped on the 13-yard pass to Alan Lazard in the end zone.
How about Kyle Kempf? The confidence in this kid. Throwing outside the numbers multiple times after the first series interception return. Just very, very impressive in only his 3rd start.
The missed point after by Texas Tech resulting in the lead now for Iowa State. Cliff Kingsbury told us he would be sticking with the run today. We saw that early on the first drive. Granted, a drive that began only 7 yards out from the end zone. QT in the slot. Cantrell yet to have a catch today. Top of the screen. Second leading receiver for the Red Raiders. But instead to Stockton up the middle. It's a hole and near a first down. He has been on fire last couple of games, averaging nearly 9 yards a rush. He picks up 8 that time. Stockton crunched. Met briefly, abruptly rather, Everett Edwards, Kamari Cotton-Moya. He'll gain that time second, make it 3rd and 1.
Let's see if they keep it on the ground here with Nisby. Big back checks in the game. Kingsbury wants to establish the run game and start
got the numbers to do it.
Cantrell in motion to Nisby. Matt trying to push forward. He is stonewalled by Lanning. He's got enough to move the sticks, though.
A lot of times it's just a simple numbers game. Just count the guys in the box. It's really easy for Shimanek to see that. That one, only 5 guys in the box for Iowa State defensively that time, so keep it on the ground.
Shorts his first touch. And he is met for a loss. Wrapped up. Everett Edwards, the safety in the fill. Jaquan Bailey there as well.
I'll be curious to see if Tech goes away from those reverses and kind of the trickery, because they've had some success pounding the ball downhill. They don't really need to do that.
Loss of 7.
That kills you on first down.
Yep. Now you try to get about half of it back here.
They had a Trey King. He's had 10 touches each of the last 2 weeks, but again, he's not going anywhere. J.D. Wagner, the senior out of Dallas. That's a loss of 1.
And that's where typically you think, oh, Texas Tech's going to throw the football. I actually like that call from Cliff Kingsbury. Stay committed to the run. They've got to do it because you have to go with what the defense allows you to do. And I think he thought, hey, if we spit this one on the outside, we can get half of it back.
3rd and 18. That is the end of the first quarter here in Lubbock. Texas Tech got off to the early hot start after the interception. But right now, Iowa State on top 7-6. We start the second quarter here in Lubbock. A missed extra point by the Red Raiders has given the Cyclones an early 7-6 lead. We take a look at the play selection. What do you guys make of this so far for Texas Tech?
I think they're going with what we talked about. Iowa State, 3-man, pressure, 3-man defensive line. It's what they're dictating, and they're getting most of their success running the football. I'm curious to see how long Cliff Kingsbury can stick to that, because I know he's tempted to start slinging it around the yard a little bit.
Third and 18 to go for the Red Raiders. The screen to Stockton, and this drive has gone nowhere from the beginning. The ball is out. Who's got it? Iowa State adamant that it is theirs.
Yeah, their whole sideline was over there signaling the other way. Of course, they always would be, no matter what, anyway.
Little screen pass here. Just basically take your medicine, get out of here, try to punt the ball. The last thing you want to do is turn it over. We'll see if he was down or not.
They have called it Iowa State football. Both teams with an early turnover here in the first half. DeAndre Payne came up with it. Stockton looked a little banged up as he went over towards the sideline. Good field position, to say the least. Ball to 34 for Kyle Kempf and the Cyclones.
They take a shot.
On the ground. Spin by Montgomery, able to fall forward for a good pickup on first down, met by Deshaun Johnson.
I don't know, Danny, do you think there's any hangover from last year to where this Iowa State team ran all over the place on Texas Tech defense? Do they remember that? Are these kids, is that in the back of their mind?
I think the ones that were on the field for that game absolutely remember it. There's a lot of new faces on this Texas Tech team. I'm wondering if there's even a hangover from last week against West Virginia when Texas Tech blew that 35-17 lead.
Gene Buckner moves to the right side. Low snap handled by Kempf. Looking for Murdoch. He's been a popular target inside the 15. And he is lassoed down shy of the 10 by Colin Hill.
Boy, good pickup, giving Kempf time. Delivered another perfectly thrown ball.
Going quickly after the pickup on the first down for Murdoch. Montgomery taking it this time.
Montgomery's such an asset here down the red zone for Iowa State. Over 50 broken tackles this season through 6 games. Just low center of gravity, big legs. A nightmare for guys on defense when you're trying to get him down. You can't just chop at his legs and make him fall. You need 2 to 3 guys.
Iowa State's been so good in the red zone this year. On play action. They find Butler stiffed at the 5. Butler's first catch today. That's good for 4 yards.
You see here, Hakeem Butler, watch the little Lexo route he runs against this Texas Tech defense. Out, back in. It's a route to beat man coverage. Tech was all over it. I guarantee you they watched that and practiced it a few times this week.
They can pick up a first down at the 2. Get to pass. And can't find his intended target. Looking once again for Allen Lazard. He's already found him once in the end zone. Octavius Morgan on the cover.
That was a very similar route by Lazard on the outside. What'd you call it, Lexo? I've always called it a juke route. I don't know, that's kind of the terminology. Football systems have different routes they run on the outside. But again, Lazard trying to shake the defensive back, faking that in cut, and then bouncing it back to the outside. But pretty good coverage that time by number 5, Octavius Morgan.
If you're a corner, you're always worried about the quick slant on the 5-yard line going in. So usually you'll jump inside, bam, as I say, Lexo back out. Ball's there. Solid defense by Tech.
Garrett Owens on from 22 yards. And he adds on to this Iowa State lead as the fumble results in 3 points. A gorgeous day here in West Texas. Happy to have you with us. Homecoming weekend here at Texas Tech. Patrick Mahomes alongside Nick Shimonek. Mahomes, first-round draft pick by Kansas City, enjoying homecoming weekend here, returning back to Lubbock.
What do you think they're talking about?
I don't know. I bet Shimonek's asking him for advice in the system. You know, hey, what are you seeing out there? Laying on him.
And Mahomes is saying, hey, man, I just want to come back and have a good time on my off. This is my off weekend. I didn't come back to work.
Booted plenty deep. You look at Shimonek. He has backed up 4 NFL draft picks, as we just saw Mahomes. Nisby, plenty of touches early on in the first half. This time snipped off. And Iowa State says they've got another fumble recovery. And they do. Right back in the hands of the Cyclones, Willie Harvey.
Well, that's a great strip. Great strip, getting the ball out. Iowa State is going for the takeaways. We talked about Texas Tech being the team with, you know, so strong in the turnover margin, but sloppy with the football, and Iowa State getting after it.
He was Reiki, the freshman out of Detroit, in the company there with Iowa State.
I mean, look at this field possession they set up, Aaron. 25-yard line going in. That is such a huge play by Iowa State's defense. Turnovers, time of possession, keys to victory.
Kempf to pass. As a man inside the 15 as he connects with Matthew Eaton for the 3rd time today. Eaton had only 8 catches all season entering this afternoon.
Kempf is dealing right now. He really is. He looked like Verlander last night in the baseball playoffs. He's just on. He's on target.
Jones making a man miss, and he is wrestled down to the 5. Marcus Fields.
You can kind of feel the energy sucked out of the stadium here. If Iowa State can punch it in for 6 here, it's going to be an uphill battle for this Tech. The offense needs to get back on the field and find a way to manufacture a drive and stop shooting yourself in the foot.
I'll tell you what, the Cyclones are looking more Red Raider-like than Texas Tech here in the first half. Lazard, bottom of the screen. Eaton, 6'4", top of the screen. Jones, the motion man. Instead, on the ground of Montgomery. Inside the 5.
credit to this Iowa State offense. They're mixing up their tempo as the game goes. It's so tough to defend. Defensive coordinator David Gibbs, he doesn't know, hey, are we going to switch it? What are we going to do? What look do we get into? So the Iowa State offense, when you mix it up like that, it makes it so difficult because you don't know. Sometimes they sprint to the line and they wait 25 seconds to snap the ball, or they go right away.
Well, just like last time around, they can pick up a first down at the 2. Had to settle for a field goal last time in this position. Looking for Eaton, back shoulder, what an adjustment, what a catch. Second touchdown pass, Kyle Kempf today. Iowa State stretching the lead.
I mean, just great execution of a back shoulder fade. You see Kempf, he's throwing it to a spot, and there's the adjustment by Eaton, just perfectly thrown ball. That ball is indefensible for a defensive back. He's got no chance of covering that.
Tell you what, Eaton just 1 catch his last 2 games. Only 1 touchdown all year. He's picked up his 4th catch here in the first half. Now 2 fumbles on consecutive drives by Texas Tech, resulting in 10 points. Nisby, first play of the drive, coughs it up. How about Kyle Kempf wheeling and dealing here today, finding Matthew Eaton for the score. Well, Iowa State, the surprise team in the Big 12 this year. Maybe this start should not be a surprise, but it has been all Iowa State so far. They have been aided by a couple of turnovers. You look at Texas Tech, guys, so far this season, they have not coughed the ball up much at all. They've been one of the best teams in terms of turnover differential, but you cannot say the same so far here today, at least in the first half. Again through the back of the end zone. This has been the early story in this game.
Turnovers, the name of the game. Matt Campbell, head coach for Iowa State, came in, established the culture early. Everyone, attitude, effort, that's what they're going to do, and that's simply what these turnovers are. You try to get 11 guys running through the ball, stripping, punching, doing whatever they can, and good things happen when everybody's playing hard.
And while you're pumped up, if you're Matt Campbell, if you're Cliff Kingsbury, you got to be so frustrated right now because your offense, you're not even giving yourself a chance. We're coughing it up, giving the other team great field position.
On play action, find Batson for the 2nd time this drive. Pushed out by Reggie Wilkers on the safety. Batson just 1 catch for negative yardage last week versus West Virginia. Still not involved. Dylan Cantrell, bottom of your screen, 2nd leading receiver for the Red Raiders. In the belly of King once again. He's got a good hold. He's able to spin forward to pick up enough for another first down. Picks up 7 that time.
Down 17-6, still sticking to the run. Cliff, he told us he was going to stick with it. He's living up to his word.
Giving it flush. Throwing out of bounds in the neighborhood of Cantrell. Good pressure that time by Joel Lanning.
Yeah, really, you want to run the ball until Iowa State is forced to do something differently. And up to this point, why would you? If you're Iowa State, you're saying, hey, you've had a couple nice runs, but you're not doing anything to beat us too bad.
What do you make, by the way, of Joel Lanning sticking with the quarterback face mask, even as a linebacker?
I like it. Why not? He likes the way it looks and feels.
That's what he's used to. One of the leading tacklers in the nation entering today. Pass midfield, another good gain by Trey King, met by Everett Edwards. Gains 5 that time. Just chunks of yardage for King.
So once again, it's this 3 safety look that Iowa State's defense does. They're saying, hey, run it. Give it a shot. We're going to dare you to run it. We're not going to let you behind us to beat us on the explosive plays. You have 4, 5, 6-man boxes all the time for this Tech offense, trying to dare you to run.
Inside Cyclone territory. King needs 5. Good spin move. He's got enough to spin forward once again. He just keeps marching the Red Raiders down the field. Needed 5, got 6.
I mean, that's a 3rd and 5. And that's a situation normally you're going to pass every time, but Kingsbury able to stick to that.
He's going to take what they give him.
Yep.
We have not seen much from Kiki QT in the slot near side. 5th in the nation, averaging over 110 yards a game. Look for Cantrell, his first catch today. He's got enough to move the chains once again. 8 catches and a score last week in Morgantown.
While it's easy to run the football against this defense and sit stuff, it's really tough to throw it. The windows get tighter because there's more guys in the secondary.
They swing it out, and he's able to hold on to it. Felton, the junior out of Houston, just about 60 yards of the ground this year, has not been used a whole lot.
This is just this is basically an outside run play.
Yep.
It's considered a little bubble, but it's basically like a deep toss sweep.
Picks up just a yard, 2nd and 9. The receiver's right side now as they hand to Nisby. Ray Lima, this is a guy that Iowa State has spoken very highly on, the JUCO transfer, eating up double teams. He was the first to find Nisby.
Ray Lima is the type of player that Iowa State, a lot of times, they do not get. They will go to some of the bigger schools in the country, and Lima has been a big reason why this Iowa State defense has been successful this season.
Look at these guys. Look at these. Just keep them in front of you. They're just a second level. They're just saying, we're going to keep everybody in front of you. Come up and make a tackle.
Again on the ground.
I bet Cliff Kingsbury's going for it. That was a, hey, we're going to run it on 3rd down, knowing we're going to go for it on 4th down. They've had kicking struggles. They know they've had success running the football.
6 missed field goals for the Red Raiders, 2 muff punts, including today, 2 missed PATs and 3 kickoffs out of bounds. Michael Uton, the true freshman out of Allen, Texas, was supposed to be the kicker today for field goals and extra points. He missed a point after. Pretty short leash. Matthew Cluck is on to attempt this one. From 35 out. Cluck with some angle to it, no good. Boy, the kicking woes have just been maddening for Texas Tech.
I mean, this is one of those ones where next week you might have an open tryout. Just say, do we have anybody on campus who can make a field goal?
Longest drive of the day for Texas Tech results in nothing. 17-6 Iowa State. Matthew Cluck missing from 35. Michael Barden there. You can see number 49 last week missing 3 field goals in a loss in Morgantown. 1st and 10 from the 20 for Iowa State after the missed field goal. Montgomery able to keep his feet. Pinball forward. What a run by David Montgomery. Finally brought down by Justice Parker.
That is the exact type of play Iowa State wants to do. They get the lead, they hold it, time of possession. They did this last week in the 45-0 shutout of Kansas. Once they got ahead, they want to run the clock out and just churn yards.
Under 4 minutes to go in the first half. Back to Montgomery. Montgomery picking up a 1st down.
I think they got to be careful, though. I think they're going to still stay aggressive, though, because this isn't Kansas. This offense is pretty high-powered. So I think that Matt Campbell and company will stay aggressive and let Kyle Kempf still tear up this defense.
Kempf keeping it. Braces for some contact.
Look out.
Picks up a handful. Desmond Smith meets him.
That keeps them honest, though. Keeps that defense honest. All you have to do is keep it 1 or 2 times. Now, that will pay dividends down the road, not even just this game. 2-3 weeks from now, the defense has to know. That backside defensive end knows, hey, I have to stay home because he will pull it.
Kempf gains 4 on the run. It makes us think a little bit of Joel Lanning. We have not seen Lanning even take a snap on offense so far today, which, based on his success last year against Texas Tech, may be a bit of a surprise. 171 yards and 5 scores. Montgomery keeping his feet again. Met at the 35. Met by Johnson, the safety, who's been a turnover machine over the course of his career here in Lubbock.
They haven't needed Lanning.
You're
they're
right.
moving the ball. They're gashing this Texas Tech defense. Aaron, I think you thought when I said game manager for Kempf, you thought that was an insult. That wasn't meant to be an insult at all. Oh, is our boy coming in?
All right on cue. There's Lanning.
Do they have him throw it, Danny?
He's only thrown it 3 times.
Completed 2 balls last road game against Oklahoma. On 3rd and 2, tucking, and he's got enough for the first down.
I mean, that is just power right at you. Get a couple up backs in there, let them lead the way, and then you know he's not going to go down on first contact, falls forward.
He gains 5.
More importantly for Kyle Kempf, you don't take that beating.
Right. Get back in there. Kempf steps up, tucks, he runs. Kemp's got a first down. Kemp's on his feet, tiptoeing to the pylon, and he is out of bounds.
I thought he was going to slide. I think the whole Texas Tech defense thought he was going to slide, the way they were just watching him run.
It's like everybody was watching in disbelief. Like, he has to be down by now, doesn't he?
Man, did he step out? I don't know if he did. I didn't see it.
He came close. Pickup of 27 as it stands.
I mean, it's a blade of grass if he was out.
Lanning, the quarterback, for the 2nd time in this drive. Picked up a first down, his first carry today.
Remember we said pick your spots, short yardage, goal line situations.
First and goal for the 4. They have seen Buckner in as a blocker in the backfield. Lanning keeping it. Down to about the 2.
I guess they can't review that play because they ruled him out of bounds. So it's not reviewable there. That's interesting call. Interesting rule. That's
what you would always
my list, Danny.
Right. Well, that's why you would always hope as an official you err on the other side, because you can go back and look at it the other way and get it right.
Lanning keeping again. And he's ripped down. Eli Howard, the defensive end.
Kempf checking back in the game here on 3rd down. They were all over Lanning on the land ram package. They were ready.
3rd and goal. Kempf already with 2 touchdown passes today. 1 to Eaton, 1 to Lazard. Kempf looking, firing, back of the end zone, caught for a touchdown. Matthew Eaton's 2nd touchdown grab today. That's his 5th catch.
The poise of Kyle Kempf is unbelievable. Just you look at him, it's like business as usual. Well, yeah, I thought I was going to do this. What do you mean? This is how I play.
And to put a little touch on that ball, like just to let the receiver get there.
What a first half this turns out to be on homecoming weekend. 24-6 Iowa State. Right now we'll send you back to Mike Hill. Robert Smith in Los Angeles. Beautiful day here in West Texas, but homecoming has not gone the way of the Red Raiders. Iowa State coming to town, and in the first half leading Texas Tech 24-6. Welcome back to Lubbock. Aaron Goldsmith alongside Danny Cannell, AJ Hawk. AJ, I'll start with you. How surprised you by what we've seen here in the first half?
I'm very surprised personally. Texas Tech, 2 turnovers, missed field goal, missed extra point. They got to get something going here early in the first drive.
What can you say about Kyle Kempf, quarterback for Iowa State, is just close to flawless. He had the 1 interception early in the game, but didn't let it fluster him at all. And he's got solid protection up front, and his receivers on the outside are making plays. But his decision-making has been absolutely perfect in Matt Campbell's system.
What a first half by the Cyclones. Both teams entering today 4-2 on the year. Iowa State playing their first road game since that incredible upset win against number 3 Oklahoma in Norman. You can see the numbers for Kempf. He has been spectacular. And a run, you can see the 3 rushes for 32 yards. A run that looked like he could have been in for the touchdown, but ruled out of bounds at the 4-yard line. Texas Tech to begin with the ball. And as we take a look And our first half stats presented by Dave and Buster's. Guys, what stands out to you the most?
It's dominated by Iowa State. I mean, Texas Tech been able to run the football, but you see only 18 passing yards for Texas Tech. That's probably what stands out the most to me. Two turnovers.
If you would have shown us this graphic before the game, I don't think anyone would believe you. 18 passing yards, just unheard of from the Texas Tech offense.
Now, last year, Cliff Kingsbury in this Red Raiders offense, just 306 total yards against Iowa State. That game was played in Ames. That was their lowest total yardage mark in 5 seasons. Play action for Shimonek. He rolls, steps into a throw into tight double coverage. He finds his man Cameron Batson, his 4th catch. That's a heck of a throw.
He had a tight window, and Batson got absolutely crushed there right as he took it. But the crowd finally able to cheer for something.
Going tempo. QT with a big gain, a first down.
They're going to push the tempo too. Texas Tech trying to hustle.
This time on the direct ground to Trey King. He was swarmed almost immediately, met first by Willie Harvey.
Texas Tech has just been felt out of sync, out of rhythm for most of the game today. Just haven't felt comfortable going against this Iowa State defense. So finally, they're trying to build some momentum, find that rhythm, get some continuity going.
Now consider that the Red Raiders average about 7 yards per play this year, in the first half averaging under 2. This time going for it all, and he overthrows his intended man. Looking in the end zone that time for T.J. Vasher.
Cliff Kingsbury talked about the West Virginia game last week when Texas Tech struggled in the second half, couldn't make plays. He said, we had plays that were there and we couldn't make them. This is one of those plays that he's talking about. That is a touchdown, and you miss it, and Shimonek knows it. Got to make those plays in this system.
Now Vasher, last week, 2 catches, 2 touchdowns, 113 yards. No catches today. Shimonek on the draw. Shimonek's got a first down past the 30.
Shimonek with the Joel Lanning impersonation. He looked, I mean, that was a good run.
Dancing back there a little bit.
Mix that in. Keep this Iowa State defense on their heels.
They hand to King on 1st and 15 after the penalty. Couple of nifty moves inside the 10. He almost picks up 15 himself. Finally brought down by Reggie Wilkerson.
The trainers were just testing him on the sideline. Looked like he was a little banged up. He obviously is feeling good enough to play and make multiple guys miss.
2nd and inches. Runs into Vernell Trent, senior out of Jacksonville. He's got enough for a first and goal, Texas Tech.
Trey King there, a little delay, like Le'Veon Bell type move if you watch there. Real sneaky. A lot of people probably didn't even notice it. He just hesitated, stuttered for a quick second, and then hit it downhill to get that first.
A line change here for Iowa State. Tech trying to score since their first offensive series. Nisby has brought down gang tackle Lanning and company, Willie Harvey as well. Nisby, of course, scored that touchdown for Tech.
A lot of extra help there from some offensive linemen trying to just push that pile forward.
You got to keep it in Nisby's hands here.
2nd and goal from the 2. On play action this time. Shimonek flushed at the 5. He is in for the score. Signs of life from the Red Raiders.
Yeah, they needed that score badly, and Shimonek finally gets going, gets the passing game going, opened up the run game, and then he's able to take care of it himself, just improvising, getting outside the pocket, realizing nothing was there, and just making it a race to the end zone.
Flash the fake to Nisby, get multiple defenders committed, pulls it, and he has the speed to get in there with a nice little dive at the end so he doesn't take a shot.
Now, who is kicking? That is always the question these days for Texas Tech. Michael Barden puts it through the uprights. Much needed for the Red Raiders. Will step aside, 24-13 here in Lubbock. Well, yesterday afternoon, the official ribbon-cutting ceremony to officially unveil the Sports Performance Center, the new $48 million multi-purpose facility here at Texas Tech. Beautiful as you can tell. Touchdown run by Nick Shimonek, bringing Texas Tech within 24-13. Michael Barton getting set to kick things away for the Red Raiders. Taking a knee in the end zone right now. Iowa State starting from its own 25. They start on the ground of Montgomery. Trying to turn upfield, not going very far at all. Justice Parker meets him. It's a pickup of just one.
Now we're getting kind of the typical Big 12 type matchup where you get a little shootout type scenario where if you're Iowa State, you got to keep playing aggressive, keep taking shots down the field.
Kempf wants the pass to the sideline, looking for Murdoch. Incomplete. That coverage to Marcus Fields. 3rd and 9 coming up for the Cyclones.
3rd and 9. The Tech defense come up with a big stop here. Set their offense up with solid field position. This is exactly where the Tech defense wants this Iowa State offense. Let's see if they can step up.
Eaton with 2 touchdowns, bottom of your screen. Lazard to the top. Looking over the middle, incomplete for Akeem Butler. Fourth down coming, punt team on for Iowa State.
Big 3 and out. Texas Tech now hungry to get the ball back in their hands.
It's a big stop after that long drive for the Red Raiders. They were able to punch it into the end zone. Downing punts it away to Cameron Batson. Batson picking it up with a spin to just near the 30. Flag on the play, stops the clock. 4:34, 24-13. Now, Red Raiders in a position to start to make this one a game. They had just 6 points at halftime, but they're a touchdown away from making this awfully interesting.
They finally feel like they're getting something going on offense. That really energized their sideline. You saw their defense stepped up, made the big stop. Unfortunately.
Ball 42. Pickup on first down by Trey King. We have seen far and away more of Trey King than we have Justin Stockton today. Stockton the fumble early, but his last 2 games, Stockton 30 carries, nearly 9 yards per rush. Complete over the middle to Kiki QT. That'll move the chains again.
You can watch him run to the line here. First down, let's go tempo. Much like when in a basketball game, if on a made free throw, a team will press after made free throws. That's kind of like this Texas Tech offense does.
Take it to King. Throws a bullet. Caught by Batson. Another first down, picking up chunks of yards this time.
Notice the other thing, too, Texas Tech is doing more throws down the field. First half, we saw a lot of underneath bubble routes, shorter throws. Now they're stretching it vertically, really stretching the secondaries. You see a whole new unit of defensive linemen roll in.
That's what that tempo will do. You need to sub in 3 new fresh D linemen.
Ball inside the 30. Again on play action to Cantrell. That's sniffed out almost immediately. Tight coverage there by Brian Peavy. Under 2 minutes to play here in the 3rd quarter. King turns upfield. King, a good run, a first down. He's inside the 20, past the 15.
Coaches were really high on Trey King. When we spoke to him, they said he's their most natural running back with the ball in his hands. The vision, the patience he has, and the ability to get upfield once he makes that cut. He really just seems natural, has great instincts and great vision.
Back to King. Burst of speed, shy of 10.
There's a lot you can find. You can find fast guys all over the place, Aaron. It's tough to find a guy that has the patience and the confidence to sit there, let the blocks happen in front of him, set the defenders up, and then hit it.
We saw Felton with the catch earlier, this time on the ground.
Hey, two east.
Back to Felton, trying to turn the corner. Felton on the season, just about 60 yards overall, has not been used that much in the running game. Picks up 3 this time.
Danny, a little guess here. So we heard 2 east there. If you think about it, run to the right, look at the compass, west, east. Yep. East is to the right. A lot of times it's just that simple, so guys can remember. You ever have any of those when you were a quarterback?
Oh, yeah. Keep them simple.
Yeah. Did anyone have to pull a compass out mid-game?
3rd and 4. Another draw for Shimanek, trying to find a lane to run. He is going nowhere. Now by Braxton Lewis.
Now with a 4th down situation, which would be a typically very makeable field goal, and the kicking issues that Texas Tech has had, they're not even thinking about.
It never crossed Cliff Kingsbury's mind to kick a field goal here if you watch him on the sideline.
I don't know. I think he's going to call a timeout here.
Nah, we got a quarter.
Oh, yeah.
That is the end of the 3rd. The Red Raiders trying to score touchdowns on consecutive drives to get right back into this one. We go to the 4th. AJ, you've had a commercial break to think about it. Still a no-brainer to go for it. 4th and 5 of the 9 for Cliff Kingsbury.
I just feel like Cliff Kingsbury, he's done it so many times where you're thinking, of course, we have to kick. This is an absolute chip shot. And he's been proven wrong over and over again. So I think he's just fed up and thinking, I'm not going to look at that again. We have to find a way to get this first down.
Yeah, they're 0 for their last 4 chip shots. So at some point,
especially
you gotta
from the right hash, Danny. Everybody
it's a tough
knows
angle.
It's like a golf shot, hitting a draw. That draw turns into a hook real quick.
Iowa State showing blitz.
They're checking out though. Doing a little double check.
3-man rush.
That was Sutton, who now backs up to pass over the middle, almost intercepted by Lanning. Turnover on downs. Iowa State ball.
I love that chess match within the game because you have a little you check, I check situation. You were right, Aaron. They came up and showed blitz, and they checked out of it, and that's a really tough window to throw into. You still got to make that catch, though, don't you?
Even if he makes that catch, it was going to be tough for him to get the first down. He would have caught it about a yard short, and right here, that was not going to feel good.
Yeah, you got to put it right on his body in those tight windows down in the red zone.
Good strike to Trevor Ryan. Trying to put a move on to about the 10.
That's got to be very frustrating for Cliff Kingsbury to feel like you have your hands tied behind your back, not being able to really have that option to kick the field goal. But now Texas Tech defense, up to them to get the ball back to the offense, which has had a lot more success in the second half.
Ryan in motion. To pass. Caught by Butler in stride for a first down and plenty more. I think that Murdoch with his 4th catch today. His first since halftime.
Iowa State going back to those deeper, long developing routes that we saw them be so successful with in the first half. It's got to be a fine balancing act. You cannot just pack it up and try to play too conservative.
Pick up 21 on the play. On the ground this time. Montgomery just keeps on chugging forward. Gain 7. Looks like that might be a run of about 3 or 4.
Montgomery here just These coaches rave about him. Say he's at the facility, he basically lives there. They have to tell him to go home. Does all the right things, and when that's your running back doing that, it really breeds confidence.
Back to Montgomery, needing 3. He's got the first. Past midfield. And we had a chance to talk a little bit with David Gibbs, the defensive coordinator for Texas Tech. He was talking about just the physical makeup of Montgomery, in part being what is so hard to finally bring him down.
He really is. It's that lower body that people tend to overlook. He's so powerful. His legs are always chugging, and you team that with the vision he has. It's just it's a rare thing. And one funny thing, he always carries the ball in his left hand. You never see him change over to the right, regardless of what sideline he's on.
And gallops forward for 16 yards on that last run. Kempf rolling out, squaring his shoulders, lofting this towards the sideline and incomplete. Looking again for Murdoch, Justice Parker on the coverage.
I like the mindset here for Iowa State. Staying aggressive, taking some shots down the field. Pretty good defense right there. Breaking up the pass.
Parker at the first half interception for Texas Tech. Second and 10 for them, 46. Montgomery trying to just bulldoze a man. Keeps him going. He's dragging Octavius Morgan with him.
Morgan's just holding on for dear life, saying, where are my buddies? Like, where's the rest of my team coming to help me? Thankfully, they finally did show up.
If you're the corner support here, you do not want to see this. No. Morgan actually does a solid job holding him up, kind of stalemating him, running him to the sideline. Wait, like you said, Danny, where's all my buddies? Where's my D lineman running inside out?
That's your backyard tackle right there. Sheldon Croney, the running back. Montgomery gets a breather after that. Morgan might need one too.
Let's see if Tech brings the pressure. Kind of made that adjustment when pressuring on third down.
Kempf stepping up, tucking. Brought down from behind. Tracked down Tony Jones.
Iowa State with a 4th down. Earlier in the game, they were very aggressive on 4th downs, but here clearly with the game in hand, they're going to punt it away. But as you look at Tech, just doing a good job pursuing the quarterback, staying after him, preventing Kempf from getting outside.
That was just a 3-man pressure by Tech. They ran a little looping games with those 3 down D linemen to try to confuse the Iowa State offensive linemen. Great execution.
So Colin Downing can do to try to pin Texas Tech back. Not going to happen this time. Through the back of the end zone. 10:56 to go for Texas Tech, trying to come from behind here in Lubbock, facing Iowa State. Good look at the homecoming parade here in Lubbock. Plenty of festivities here as Shimonek and this Red Raiders offense held to just 6 points in the first half, trying to get something cooking here in the final minutes. This is a team that has turned the ball over only 6 times all year entering today. They coughed it up twice in the first half. Joe Lanning in this Iowa State defense trying to keep the brakes put on the Red Raiders. Shimonek to pass for a first down, finds Cantrell, his 5th catch of the day. And can roll Alexander, the linebacker, finally brings him down to the ground.
That's been the big difference to me, looking at this system, the offense for Texas Tech. The vertical shots down the field are the ones that are coming open. If you play the short passing game that plays into Iowa State what they want you to do, they come up and make the tackle.
Somehow caught. He finds Cameron Baston. He's thrown into some pretty tight windows.
Cameron Baston does a fine job of just getting lost behind the defenders. The defenders have their eyes forward watching the quarterback. He sneaks in behind him, and Shimonek delivers the dime.
Gains 11. You know, maybe on that replay it didn't look maybe as tight as it did in real time from up here, but that was a pretty impressive throw. Under 10 minutes to go, 4th quarter. Trying to set up the screen, and the screen is intercepted. Oh, the way to the house, Marcel Spears. Thank you very much.
What just happened?
That is a backbreaker.
The air just instantly sucked out of the stadium. What a play by Spears.
There he is. Watch him just seize it, develop. That's great route recognition from Spears. The fake, the pump fake to the right didn't phase him at all. Steps right in front of it.
That's what that pump fake's designed to get a guy. If you're in man-to-man coverage, to get Spears to at least take 2 or 3 steps over towards the fake so it can free up some space there. He does not bite for a second. One-handed pick to the house.
31-13. You talk about a pretty big momentum swing for Matt Campbell and Iowa State. They're on top. Not much time left for this Red Raiders offense. Wind's blowing the wrong way today for Texas Tech. 31-13. The pick six, the latest. 3 turnovers today by this Red Raiders offense. Keep in mind they had only 6 all season entering this afternoon. Once again through the back of the end zone. 9:07 left to go as we take another look at this.
Watch this. Marcel Spears right here. He's not in man coverage. He's in zone. But he diagnoses the play early. He sees it. He sees the lineman get behind the first lineman, split the lineman, come out to block you. Willie's, the receiver, is not able to get a hand on him to knock him off his path. Matt Campbell, what's pretty amazing, only being in his 2nd year, he's already ingrained that culture in this team. They definitely have bought into his system.
They find Batson going underneath. There's a reason why we're seeing this dink and dunk still from Texas Tech, given the score and the time.
At this one, though, you don't want to try to force it downfield. You want to go fast. You want to take your shots when they're there.
Second catch for Willie's. Amari Katamoya there.
A lot of times Shimanek, although Iowa State's running a 3-man rush, he doesn't have all day to throw. He's had to slide around in the pocket, move. 3-man pressure is just something that should not happen.
He starts to step up, now dumps it off. Gets it out to Baston again. Batson's had a busy day. Finally brought down by Peavy.
Aaron, a lot of times in these zone coverages, they're dinking and dunking because they want to give you that. We'll let them catch those balls. There's a lot of times there's a no cover zone, like a 5-yard dead zone where, hey, no matter what, if you're a defender, you never jump down in that no cover zone. You let them catch the ball, we swarm, and we try to strip the ball when we get there.
Shimanek is brought down from behind. He runs right into it. Carson Lensing, the defensive end, the freshman. He didn't even see that coming.
Those hits are the worst because Shimanek's trying to keep his eyes down the field, trying to let routes open up, just doesn't feel it. That's going to hurt tomorrow.
Very fortunate to hold on to the ball there.
Yeah.
You're right. Second sack for the Cyclones today.
If you're a defensive end, Danny, this is tough because these guys are trying to pad their stats right now and get those sacks.
Under 4 minutes to go on 3rd and 18 now. And the ball is loose. Shimanek comes up with it, stays on his feet still. He heaves a duck, almost intercepted.
I mean, that was a crazy play. I don't know how Shimanek found that ball back because he coughed it up. Must have bounced right back up to him.
Watch right here. J.D. Wagner, bam, hits him with a spin move. Knocks the ball out. Shimanek gets it back.
This is backyard football right there.
Yeah.
It's a gritty play by Shimanek. Very fortunate as well to not be intercepted.
Right through Cotton Moya's hands. I wish he could have that one back. Had an interception last week against Kansas. Trevor Ryan back to return the punt. And how about Iowa State next week? They'll be at home against the Horned Frogs.
Telling you, Iowa State, they thinking big picture, thinking, hey, why not us for the Big 12 Conference Championship?
Danny, why would Tech punt there?
I think they're kind of throwing it in. Saying,
just waving the white flag, I guess. Let's not get anybody hurt.
Yep.
Montgomery straight ahead, keeps his feet still going. He is still on his feet past midfield. How far will David Montgomery go? Inside the 20 to nearly the 15. Where's that white flag?
Ooh. That's the problem, I think, sometimes when you send that message to your players, hey, we're punting away, the game's over. They kind of play that way. Saw some kind of lazy tackling at the point of attack.
Outstanding run by Montgomery there. Just tough for this Tech defense. Got to find a way to get him down.
Pick up a 58. He's at 159 yards on the afternoon. Sheldon Croney, the new running back. They give to Croney. Croney past 10. Guys, let's focus on Texas Tech for a moment. Last week, a very disappointing loss on the road in West Virginia. They gave up a huge lead late. Today, a game that they, except for their first offensive drive, it really hasn't felt like they've been in this game at all. This will be back-to-back losses, and we talked earlier in the week to Cliff Kingsbury about how to respond from these types of losses. In fact, from last year to this year, they changed their practice schedule as a way to try to get past losses like these.
They really had. They tried to get in there, get it all out of the way Sunday, flush it, win or lose. But with that 4-1 start Tech had, they had a lot of goodwill built up, and that kind of lost that last week, falling apart versus West Virginia. Now they just add to that.
It's going to be gut check time for this team. I mean, it really is. This is a team that got in the top 25. They got to number 24, first time they've been ranked since 2013. They had beat some really good teams in Houston and Arizona State. So you're thinking, all right, this is the year to make it legit, to make it real. Now they got to kind of focus in, get back in, and kind of hunker down together, because they're going to take a lot of criticism from the fan base.
They go on the road next week to Oklahoma. Deshaunte Jones, his 4th catch, his first since halftime.
That's the thing. You have to run the gauntlet of this Big 12 schedule. And, like, how do you find a way to turn it around to show some progress if you're Tech? It's going to take a huge victory, like, say, next week, going in there and beating Oklahoma. A win like that to maybe turn the tide and get the momentum back in your favor.
Lazard isolated, top of your screen. It's in Jones in motion. And to Montgomery, trying to find some daylight, bounces it out. Brought down by Vontae Dorsey, the safety. Now, meanwhile, on the Iowa State side of things, mentioned their road win, their upset win at Oklahoma. That was their last road game for Matt Campbell. Last year, destroying this Tech team 66-10. They're looking for just their 2nd ever win in Lubbock here today. And they're under a minute away. Montgomery trying to cap off a fantastic afternoon by finding pay dirt. Comes up shy here. Bring up 3rd and goal.
Now Texas Tech, remember they punted on 4th down, so they kind of threw in the towel. They haven't used their timeouts. You think Iowa State just kneel on it?
Yeah, now they will.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, they waved the white towel.
Montgomery wanted a touchdown, though. He is still running hard with 20 seconds to go.
First 4-game road winning streak since the early 60s. Guys, what do you make of Matt Campbell and the Cyclones coming in on homecoming weekend and doing what they did today?
Just outstanding. They doubled down on that Oklahoma win. They go out there to shut out Kansas last week. They let us know, hey, this is for real. As Danny said, it wasn't just a fluke win against Oklahoma. So Iowa State is for real, and they proved it today.
Put a stamp on it. They're going to be in the top 25 this week. That's my prediction.
That'll be the first time since 2005 for Iowa State. 31-13, the final score here. Iowa State wins. For Danny Cannell, AJ Hawk, Mike Guerrera, I'm Aaron Goldsmith. So long from Lubbock. Right now, let's go back to L.A. to Mike Hill.